Hello, everybody. Welcome to Family Life 100. This is Sister Crewman. Again, my profoundest apologies for the confusion from earlier today. That was completely my error. I won't go into details, but I messed it up. And so I'm hopeful that this video will reach you and that you get to watch it and use this for credit. If for some reason you weren't able to watch it because of your schedule, just let me know. And you can submit it late. I won't have a penalty for you. So I hope that things are going well for you, and I'm going to go ahead and run through the same information I've done in the other meetings during the week, and I'll try to host a little question and answer next week for anyone who wants to join with more specific questions. And so we're going to go ahead and begin. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and this is something that you can do as well during your own meetings, and we'll get into the course. And so our course is very similar, to what yours would have. The only difference would be here on the side, these areas that are kind of gray, you don't have those options. So I won't use those for navigation right now. So a big question that I wanted to clarify at the beginning is there's a lot of confusion between regarding the Zoom weekly meetings with the class. And so I hope everybody has signed up by then. I am going to be going in and assigning group leaders by the end of tonight. And so please take a look at that and coordinate with your group for next week. But what that looks like, let's go into the modules. So we're in week 2. And I just want to make sure you knew where you signed up and then how to navigate and communicate there to get things moving for next week. So my computer is a little slow. You can also navigate, of course, through the numbers at the bottom of the home page. Okay, so this is where the sign, oh, it's a little, like I said, slow. One way we can navigate back, though I don't have to go all the way, I should be able to just arrow back because it was the one previous. And that is something I recommend, going through week by week, clicking on each one just to make sure you don't miss anything until you can kind of get used to the routine of what's due each week. Because I know it is really, really busy, especially right now at the beginning of the semester. So here we have where you can navigate from. You can go to people. And so everybody by now should have a Zoom group that they are assigned to. And so this is where, this is where everyone was able to sign up. And I could see, like, for example, this group will have to be combined because it's so tiny. So hopefully they can find someone in that last group. But in here, so let's look at Zoom group 5, for example, on Thursday at 9 a.m. And so we're going to go in and find a place where you guys can communicate about that. I just want to distinguish this, though, from the weekly discussion groups, which are here. Every week you will have a discussion board topic, and that's something that you've already been participating in. And so I've created those groups. They're mostly randomly assigned. You don't have to do anything. You just go into your discussion board. But you'll realize that in that discussion board, you do not have all 45 people in your class. You just have about 9 people. And that's just to make it easier to communicate, because as I'm sure you've all seen on that first page where everyone was introducing, it was it's hard to navigate, it's hard to have a good conversation since there's so much. And so that will change about halfway through the semester, a couple different times, who the people you're going to be talking to. But you don't have to do anything about it. It will automatically happen when you go into discussion board. You'll only be able to see the conversations that you're involved in. These discussion groups through the Zoom group are something that is done every week, and it's going to be with the same exact people and just the people you've signed up with. So let's go back into modules and we'll look at the steps of that. So once you've signed up, you're going to want to coordinate a time for next week. There a time or who will be the leader, who will set up and host it the same way that I'm hosting this meeting. And that's under discussion Zoom coordination. So when you go into this, it will look a little bit different. Here I have a whole bunch of groups listed, but just a reminder, you will only see the one you signed up for. So I think I said we're going to look at group 5. So if you are in group 5, this is what you'll see. It's basically another discussion board. And so you can reply to this just like you would reply to any discussion board saying, hello, I'm going to be hosting the group. Please join me, and posting your link. Just like my link was posted. And you can get that out of your profile for your Zoom group. excuse me, out of Zoom. And so this is where you will communicate and share information. What's interesting though is over here, you've actually entered a different space in Canvas. This home will not take you to the home page for Canvas. It's just the home page for your group. And so how Canvas does it is the discussion group is actually a area outside of the rest of Canvas. And so the people in here are not the entire list of people in your class, but just the people in your group. Sometimes this can be a little confusing for people. They're not sure how to navigate out of it. But you can have discussions, organize, coordinate here, going in through week 2, like we just did. And then when you're done, you can actually come back up and move this out of the way. Well, you can just go back in through your courses and kind of go all the way back into the course. And so that's how you get in and out of your Zoom group discussion. So what are the parts of the assignment? Let's actually look at next week as an example. So we'll go into week 3. Just to make sure my video is still going, I hope. Let's hope. I think it's still recording. So next week, you're going to have something that's called a learning activity. And so in your learning activity, moving down, you have 3 parts here. I like how these are clumped together. It's a lot better structured than it was under Brightspace. So this is the learning activity. So you go in here and you're going to learn about what you're going to do to prepare for your Zoom group meeting. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll read this activity, pick something you're going to talk about, study on your own. Hi, welcome, Brenda.
I just barely saw it.
That's fair. I'm actually going to continue because I'm recording it, and then if you can stay on at the end, we can do any questions if that's okay. So please feel free to stay. I'm just explaining the Zoom group coordination.
Okay.
And so this, in the Zoom group coordination, this is actually, I'm talking about the learning activities. And so the learning activities are part of how you prepare for the Zoom group for next week. And so this is the first part. Once you've coordinated with your group, you go in here and you do something on your own, thinking about what information is of interest to you, and then also, what you want to share with your group. The next part of the activity would actually be to connect with your Zoom group, whoever they may be, and share with them what you've learned, discuss it with them. And then finally, what you do is you submit to me what you learned. And the document, when you upload it, it will look like this. It's a Word document. And everyone in the group submits this form, not just the group leader. Everyone who wants credit does it. And so you put your name, who was in your group that day, what you participated, what you shared, and how other people also participated, and you upload it. So the Zoom meetings are every single week with the same people, and you always have those 3 steps up until almost the end of the semester. And I know this is a part of the group that is, or of the class, that can be challenging for a lot of people at first to kind of get coordinated, but it also becomes something people really like because they actually develop, real relationships with people in their class. And so that is how the 3 parts of the Zoom group meeting that happen each week. And so I'm going to move into talking a little bit about the Family Proclamation Project just briefly. Brenda, have you heard about the Family Proclamation Project yet?
I haven't looked into it a lot, but I know it's there.
Yeah, it's just mostly been seen under, it's probably on the syllabus, a little blurb about it, and I don't want people to worry about it because it's not quite yet, but I also want people to start thinking about it because it is a key assignment. It is 30% of the final grade and 10% of a paper is 10% of the grade that goes along with it, and then there are partial assignments along the way, so it's a huge project. So let's go back into modules, and I'll show you where you can find out more information and kind of start thinking about it. It's all the way at the bottom is where you can find some examples. Keep going down. You can see my screen okay, right, Brenda? Mm-hmm. Great. Let's see. So it's here under key assignments. So this will have some rubrics, and rubrics are so important. As an instructor, I have to use the rubrics. It's how they're like how they want us to do our grading. And then under here, there's some examples. And so the Family Proclamation Project, basically, though, it's taking information from 12 sections of the book, any of the chapters that are of interest to you, and creating some type of a presentation or offering of sorts for someone in your ward, someone in your family, for your children. And it's just making something that's meaningful. Last year I had someone do a quilt, but using themes from the textbook. I had a lot of people do type of presentations, family home evening lessons. But these are big projects, and some of the examples are really helpful in kind of getting the concept of how big it is. But really, anything could work if it is meaningful and cover those 12 sections. So I really want it to be something that is worth your time. So this is just an example of a website. But it's important that it's not just rehashing the information that comes from the textbook, but it's making it personal. And so I would say at this stage, the time is more just about like kind of thinking about like what is something you're interested in doing, who would you maybe want to share something with, and then like what kind of thing would you like to share with them, what's important to you right now. And then the first assignment will just sort of be like a brainstorm of these are the chapters I want to use, this is what I think I'm doing, and then 3 times along the way, at least 3 times, I'm going to give feedback on the project. And so people that just do that along the way, like this is how far I am, what do you think, this is how far I am, what do you think, I can pretty much say you will get a very good grade because I've already graded it 3 times along the way, in a very more just like a completion format, and then at the end it's for the fulfillment of the criteria. Do you have any questions about that so far?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So this week, I know at this point most people have done the assignment, but just a word about plagiarism, since we are talking about the family, since we're talking about APA formatting. I did post a video about what APA formatting is, but basically it's just the way in the social sciences that we give credit to people that have done the work for us of finding information, research, studies. And so the APA formatting is the way we use quotations, and it's also the way we talk about information that was shared. And I feel like what I've seen is more often, I personally don't know that I've ever seen plagiarism on purpose, but I have seen unintentional plagiarism, which is when an idea that comes from the text isn't cited. And with this new Canvas, I have this thing, it's called Turn It In, where every paper that's turned in, there's this comparison between the original text. It has a huge database where it knows like how much of this information was like directly quoted from somewhere else. And it does like a comparison. And so if there's like a high percentage between those two, I'm going to be concerned, wondering, is this, something that actually, was taken from some other source. And so that can be avoided by making sure to use appropriate citations. And the APA formatting assignment is just to show a reference list of where sources came from. And then throughout the semester, my main plea is just to make sure to give credit where it's due. Just say who said it, and then use APA formatting just as a way to know what to do. So do you have any questions about that?
No. I've used it before.
You've APA, okay, great. For some people it's brand new, and some people it's like we've done this a million times. And so that's why they have this assignment this week, just to kind of help people familiarize with it. And with this research practice, just a reminder though, have you already done the assignment or not yet? You have, okay. For those of you that may have not done it, just a reminder, it's not a paper, it's just it's a list of 4 references. And so last semester I got a whole written paper, and I felt so bad because it was so much work. I think they did okay because they did the references as well, but a paper is not necessary. So just a list of the 4 references. So I talked a little bit about the discussion board, but just a reminder, there isn't a way to thread certain topics within the discussion board like there was in Brightspace. You do just have to use like a search function, Control F, to find, the name of a person, or you can sort things to see new information that you haven't seen before. but it won't be as massive as that first week. And so hopefully it won't be as hard to navigate. And then also at this point, you want to look at starting to unsubscribe from your book if you didn't get, if you did order a hard copy of the text, you will still be charged unless you unsubscribe from your book list. So that was actually the information that I wanted to run through. I'm going to go ahead and end the video, Brenda, and then if you can stay on, we can chat for a minute. So thank you everyone for watching. As long as you watch this video, you can still go ahead and submit for credit. So thank you for participating.